Must be Wednesday. Hello, I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen. Cloud mows the lawn. That sounds like an innocent fanfic, right? 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 Well, you are all in for a surprise today. You see, one hint about this fanfic, about what it's about, is the fact that it's on adult fanfiction.net and not regular fanfiction.net. But you might still be thinking, oh, it can't be that bad. Yeah, there might be sex and stuff in it, but it can't be that bad. Well, we're about to find out how bad this story is. So let's not hesitate and let's dive into the shit. Okay, it's a Final Fantasy VII fanfic.
Whoa! Wait, what? What? What?
What the hell are you doing here?
I've been sitting on your bed for the past 20 minutes playing Pokemon. You didn't notice me there?
No.
I've mastered teleportation. Haha! Again, gamer, I got cheats. But, Cloud mows the lawn.
I am in the middle of a review here, so...
I'm sorry, being a gamer, Final Fantasy VII is in the game...
Yes, but this isn't an episode of Game Sector, this is an episode of FanFic Critic.
Oh, I know, but it's kind of taking forever to make Game Sector because I'm busy! Fine, I'll leave you to your review.
I heard that.
No, you didn't.
Now, where was I? Oh yes, it's a Final Fantasy VII fanfic. It's in general, and it's called Cloud Mows the Lawn. And guess what? It has 4 chapters. The first chapter is called Cloud Mows the Lawn. The author is the Fastest Fighters. But wait a minute. In the actual story, it says that the author is named Rasso. Wow. Someone who cannot determine what their name is when they write fanfics. I'm the fanfic critic. No. I am the critic of fanfics. No. I'm the fanfic critic. No, I'll call myself the critic just for the hell of it. You have to stick with one name, people. Okay, I do not own these characters. Cloud Mows the Lawn by Rasso. Tifa knelt by the window with her arms were rested on the windowsill. Tifa knelt by the window with her arms were rested on the windowsill. Get rid of the word were. She sighed in contentment, gazing outside. Cloud was out front, mowing the lawn. Wow, I never would have guessed by the title. His shirt was off, which was a big turn on for Tifa, his wife of 2 weeks. Tifa laughed as she realized she could stare at him all day. She was rather sad he would finish eventually. He worked out every day and his chest really showed that. He was the sexiest man Tifa ever saw. That didn't make Tifa fall in love with him, though. They grew up together and they had secret crushes on each other throughout adolescence.
It's not really a secret if you've been growing up.
Cloud proposed to her the day after their long adventure, and she immediately accepted. She would never forget that moment when she felt like she and Cloud were alone in space. They married a week after he proposed, talk about jumping the gun, and were rarely seen outside after that because they spent most of their free time fucking each other. Anyways, back to the story. Do not have something like that in a story. Anyways, back to the story. That's just sloppy and stupid. Don't do that. Tifa was in the master bedroom on the 2nd floor of their new house, watching the man of her dreams cut the grass. The 20-year-old woman was watching him mow the lawn for the 7th time. Geez, they must have really long grass for that lawn. It was a hobby of hers, and the fact that they had a huge yard and that it would take Cloud an extra long time to cut it. Watching how strong he was, she would not move for anything. Suddenly, Tifa felt a slight rumble in her stomach, but she ignored it. She was having too good of a time watching Cloud. The best part, don't you mean part with a T at the end, you bubblehead? Why is the word "the" in there twice? When he would come upstairs to shower. Right before he entered the bathroom, she would ask Cloud if they could take a shower together. They would always end up kissing throughout the shower, and they would leave in a better mood than ever. She was so sure he would let her shower with her, I guess Cloud is now a woman, that she was not wearing underwear under her black mini skirt. That's nice. She felt her stomach rumble again and sighed. She really didn't want to leave. She wanted Tay-Tay. Tay-Tay? 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 What the hell do you mean by Tay-Tay? Shouldn't it say she wanted to stay? My God, this is why you proofread your work before you plaster it on the web. And there's no way we can try to say that the author of this story might possibly be a kid, because seeing this is on adultfanfiction.net, there's a good chance that an adult wrote this. An adult! She wanted to stay there for the longest time, watching he-husband, he-man, he does lawn mowing thing. Don't you mean her husband? Do the yard. So he wants to fuck the yard. Of course she knew he would do it again and again and again. You do not need commas with the ands. But she cherished every minute of watching him. She could not bear to stop. She needs a new hobby if the only thing that interests her is watching her husband mow the lawn.
Try video games. It's a great hobby. Sorry.
Tifa's stomach rumbled again, louder than the first 2 times. Don't you mean then? She realized she had to think of what to do, and quickly. She could run and return immediately, but then she would miss some of the lawn mowing. Trust me, you're not missing a lot. Her second option was to stay and clean up after herself. So, her stomach's rumbling because she has to poop, and it's not because she's hungry? And she's actually considering standing there and crapping on her floor just so that she could watch her husband mow the lawn? That is so freaking stupid! But the fear of getting caught made her feel uneasy. This feeling caused her stomach to rumble more. Tifa looked down. The floor was brand new and very expensive tile floor. It was not a very pleasant idea for her to mess it up. Whatever, muttered Tifa, when a girl has to shit, a girl has to shit. Tifa's black skirt was actually a wraparound, and it was easy to remove. Soon she was bottomless. Tifa took a deep breath and closed her eyes. She pushed and grunted over again until she felt her anus stretch. This is it, she said.
I am so sorry. Oh my God. This is like how to use the potty Final Fantasy style. Am I distracting you?
No, I think the story itself is distracting me. It's hard to read it with a straight face.
I'll say you're talking about shit.
Okay, let's compose ourselves, people. I'm very sorry about that outburst. Okay, let's read it again. This is it, she said aloud, while still pushing and grunting. A crackling sound filled her ears as the turd finally slid out of her body. So what, is her shit made of firecrackers? It was a hard one, dark brown and compressed together like I needed that visual! And boy did it stink. Tifa didn't mind the smell of her own droppings. But she knew it would be difficult to get away with this. With Tifa's shit sitting on the floor, she felt slightly relieved. Tifa let out a long, gassy fart. She giggled, for she tended to have gassy poops. Her relief soon ended, however, as she felt another log traveling from her colon to her rectum. She pushed again, and the turd began to slide out. Unfortunately for poor Tifa, it got stuck halfway. I bet that feels good, said Cloud from behind her. Tifa immediately jumped up in shock. She was so focused on expelling what was in her gorgeous bowels that Cloud finished the lawn and came up to the bedroom. So there she was, standing there in a white shirt, white socks, red sneakers, and no pants or underwear, with 5 inches of shit sticking out of her ass in front of the love of her life. Tifa began to cry. Okay, it serves you right, you friggin' idiot. That's what you get for taking a dump in your bedroom so your husband can walk in on you. And I bet he's gonna divorce her for this, right? Let's find out. And Cloud approached her and hugged her. What? She didn't care. Her shirt became drenched in his sweat. She wanted her man. She even felt a bulge in his pants and realized that her taking a dump turned him on. Let me ask you a question, Liz. Does it turn you on to see someone taking a shit?
No! What kind of fucking question is that?
Okay, viewers, I have a question for you. Does it turn you guys on to see someone taking a shit? No? I thought so! To Tifa's surprise, Cloud turned her around and lowered her onto her hands and knees. Tifa was puzzled at first, wondering what he would do, but that puzzle was soon solved as Cloud guided his... What is that? Dick Ward Ward? Dick Ward Ward? Wow, what a very unique word. Something tells me that it doesn't exist! It should say guided his dick towards her anus, not Dick Ward Ward. Seriously, people, this is sad. This is really sad. Her anus and the shit that hung from it. Cloud moaned as Tifa's warm poo mashed against his dick. They had... What? Is this person Gus Gus from Cinderella? They keep on repeating words. Had. Tay. Gus Gus. I mean, seriously. They had anal sex many times before. Okay, times before should be 2 words, not 1. But never with a huge turd stuck in Tifa's ass. Yes, because most people are not turned on by fucking someone when they're taking a shit. Suddenly, Cloud's dick set the poo that had been stuck in Tifa's ass free. Okay, it doesn't work like that. If he's smashing his dick up against her crap, it would be embedded in her butt and would not be coming out. Tifa's rectum expelled turd. Again, they repeat the word, but then they have it as 1 word instead of 2. Tifa farted again, and Cloud felt a pleasant breeze on his member. Thanks, exclaimed Tifa. Hey, no problem, said Cloud. I'm going to shower. Want to get in there with me? And that's the end of chapter 1. Oh, yes, just to remind you guys, this is a multi-chaptered story. Let's take a look at chapter 2.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do. It's called Cloud and Tifa at the Mall.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Tifa struggled to breathe. She and Cloud were at their favorite mall, making out in their favorite corner. They were running their hands over each other, and they knew other people could see, but they didn't care. Tifa had worn her tight pair of jean shorts today to show off her butt for Cloud. He always told her how her butt was pretty nice, so she wanted him to see it as much as possible. Cloud put his hands on Tifa's butt and pushed her into him. Tifa giggled as she felt a bulge in Cloud's pants. Suddenly, Tifa desperately freed herself from Cloud's arms. She really had to poop. Oh no, not again. Don't tell me this is going to be a rehash of the first chapter except in a mall this time. She told Cloud she needed to run for a second and disappeared into the ladies' room. It only had 2 stalls and she was the only one in there. So Tifa picked the one nearest to the window and locked the door. She unbuttoned her short jean shorts and wriggled out of them. She hung them on the hook and slid her off her panties. Wait a minute. Forgive me for this visual, but most people when they go to the bathroom, I highly doubt they take their pants off when they do it. They just push it down their legs. They don't take their pants off completely. Or at least I don't think they do. Okay, let's get that image out of our minds and let's just continue to read. Also putting them on the hook. So she takes her panties off too. Why would you do that? With that, she sat on the toilet, her butt dropping way down into the bowl.
She fell in.
with her cheeks being pulled apart in the process.
Ew. Wait, what?
It was very quiet in the bathroom, and Tifa was kind of spooked. Well, if she's the only one in there, what do you expect? She soon changed that, however, with a windy little fart. Suddenly, Tifa felt her butthole open up, and a little chunk of shit fell out with a splash. The splash seemed to echo forever in the quiet restroom. She pushed a little, and 2 more chunks dropped one after the other with loud splashes. She was slightly disappointed, for she thought she was full of droppings. Tifa farted a few more times and felt her butt open again. The smile returned to her face, realizing that bigger turd wanted to come out this time. My God, what does she have, a shit fetish? Tifa found it was weird hearing the crackle around her anus. Geez, maybe she has like really dry skin in that area. Maybe she should see a doctor about that if she's hearing crackling sounds when she takes craps. The log slid out very slowly, and Tifa could hear and feel it. What? What exactly do you mean by NDFND, feel it? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Could you please explain that to me, please? Let's continue. Tifa enjoyed the feeling of defecating. Knowing Cloud couldn't give her anal sex all the time, it was a good substitute. Tifa's poo dropped without a splash. She looked down at it. It was about 7 inches long and 2 inches wide, which was normal for her. To her horror, it was stuck halfway. Wow, what a shock! Let me guess, Cloud's going to randomly show up and have anal sex with her again. Tifa continued to push and groan as if she was in labor, but it was no use. The shit did not move. A tear slid down Tifa's face, realizing she wasn't going anywhere for a while. Just then, to Tifa's surprise, she heard the bathroom door open. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll bet a girl named Tifa is taking a dump in here. So what, is this a unisex bathroom? Oh, no, wait, it can't be, because it was stated earlier in the story that it's a ladies' room. So wouldn't he be getting in trouble for going into the ladies' room if he's clearly a man? Tifa's face turned bright red when she recognized the voice. It was Cloud. "In here, Cloud," called Tifa as she unlocked the stall door. She didn't care what she was doing. She wanted to be with Cloud again. "Phew, Tifa, what did you eat?" demanded Cloud as he opened the door. "We just had a pepperoni pizza," replied Tifa. "Okay, if they just had it, why would it digest that quickly?" "Things do not digest just like that. It takes time." "So what's taking so long?" I'm a bit constipated." "A bit?" Tifa giggled. "Let me see," ordered Cloud. "Are you serious?" Tifa got up off the toilet and turned around and bent over. Ew. Cloud gazed at the shit hanging from his wife's gorgeous ass. Cloud tried prying her anus with his fingers, but it was to no avail. "Ow, ow, ow, Cloud, stop it," snapped Tifa. "Sorry," said Cloud. Don't you mean think? "I have a more painless idea. Sit on the toilet again." Tifa sat back down on the toilet. To her surprise, Cloud pulled his pants down and positioned his cock at the entrance of Tifa's pussy. Before she could say anything, Cloud began to thrust, slowly at first, but gradually picking up speed. Tifa moaned loudly in response to Cloud's love. Soon it happened. Tifa clutched the toilet seat as she orgasmed, ed. Grammar. Don't you love it? And to her surprise, the turd that was stuck in her ass, dropped right into the bowl. "Oh, Cloud, thank you," said Tifa. She threw her arms around him, buried her face in his chest, and began to rock him. While she was doing this, she continued to fart loud and gassily and dropped chunks into the toilet, but Cloud ignored them. It was a job well done. Okay, it looks like "it was a job well done" is supposed to be in its own separate sentence, seeing the I in it is capitalized, but there's no period at the end of them, so it's in the same sentence as while she was doing this. Jeez. But all good things must come to an end. The bathroom door opened and the cops came in. They marched right over to the lover's stall and grabbed Cloud and dragged him off of Tifa. As the police dragged Cloud out, Tifa let out one last fart to set him off. That's the end of chapter 2. Let's go on to chapter 3, which is called Cloud Mows the Lawn. Again. Oh boy, let's read chapter 3.
Again, do we have to?
Yes, we have to. I'm going to finish this review. I'm not going to have a rehash of Secret Romance where I decided to not finish the review and then have it come back and bite me in the ass. So let's do this. The shower water sprinkled out of the nozzle as the naked girl spread it out all over her gorgeous body. Cloud was mowing the lawn again, but this time Tifa decided to stay in the shower. She still had a good view of him through the window, and it was possible that the neighbors could see her, but she didn't care. Tifa had not been feeling too good for the past few days. She wasn't sick. She had just been eating a lot lately, then taking Ipecac so she wouldn't get fat. Soon her loneliness ended. She let out a sigh of relief as she heard the cloud. So did Cloud literally turn into a cloud? Knock on the bathroom door. How are you feeling, Tifa? Asked Cloud politely as he tried to catch his breath. Okay, if he's spending most of this fanfic going to be in the shower with her, it shouldn't be called Cloud Mows the Lawn again. It should be called Cloud and Tifa are in the shower. I feel terrible, giggled Tifa. How could you feel terrible if you're giggling, you idiot? Come in. With that, the door opened. Cloud was a gentleman, for he would often check on her, yet never come in when Tifa was showering until she gave him permission. He even stood at the bathroom door if she didn't. And yet he has no problems walking into the ladies' room at a mall so he can check on his wife to see if she's taking a dump or not.
Yeah, and then shove his dick up her ass just to loosen it. Ugh.
Cloud walked in, but put the toilet lid down and had a seat. How's the lawn? Asked Tifa sweetly. Boy, it's getting tougher each time, replied Cloud. Don't tell me you're getting old, joked Tifa. Cloud laughed back. Well, it is 90 degrees out, and I'm drenched. Plus, I had to take the trash out. A big smile appeared on Tifa's face. That was the cue he wanted to get into the shower with her. He was too shy to ask explicitly, and Tifa liked that. Well, began Tifa, trying to hide her excitement. Can you do me a couple of favors? What? I forgot my clothes. Would you mind getting them for me? Sure, exclaimed Cloud. And the other one? When you bring my clothes in, get your naked butt in here and kiss me. Slowly, the realization came to her. She needed to poop. And real bad at that.
Oh,
I'm noticing a pattern with these chapters. They all have something to do with shit. Gathering her courage, Tifa crossed her legs real tight, holding it. Then she took one step out of the shower. So far, so good, whispered Tifa to herself. She took another step towards the toilet, but suddenly she started to leak liquid shit. Oh my god. Tifa felt it oozing down her leg and realized the trouble she was in. Soon there, with her legs crossed really tight, holding her poop in and trying to think of what to do. Her thoughts were soon interrupted. Cloud returned to the bathroom without warning. Worse, he had pressed up against Tifa's back and put one hand on her shoulder. He had startled her and she started to poop on him. Horrified, Tifa jumped out of the shower and sat on the toilet. Unfortunately, she had forgotten to put the lid up, so she made a mess on the lid. Tifa wanted to relax, but she couldn't because she knew what she had done. Eventually, she got the lid up and finally relaxed just to let it all out in the toilet. Tifa was farting bad and the stink was even worse. She was crying her eyes out at the mess she made. It wasn't that she had never messed herself before, but never in a bathroom. I'm sorry, Tifa cooed Cloud as he wrapped his arms around the shitting girl. Just let everything out, babe. I'll clean up. With that, Cloud picked up a roll of paper towels and kneaded some into a wad. Tifa felt guilty as he wiped the waste off the floor. She understood very well why she loved that man. She even cried a little as he wiped her shit off of him. She just wanted to crawl into a hole and die. Soon she was done. She got up off the toilet and flushed, although that didn't really do anything to kill the smell. Tifa put the lid down, revealing the shit on the lid. Cloud made another wad of paper towels and then cleaned Tifa's droppings off the lid. Shit, grumbled Cloud. What happened? Asked Tifa. I ran out of paper towels. Uh-oh. Bend over, ordered Cloud. Oh, God. Tifa did as she was told. She felt funny to stick her ass up at Cloud when he told her to bend over. Suddenly, she felt a strange feeling behind her. It was almost as if a snake was on her, and soon realized what was happening. He was eating the waste off of Tifa's back.
Oh my god. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my. Oh. That is. I'm just.
I'm sorry. I had to, fix something. That's why I exited out of the room. Let your imagination go wild with that.
Too bad I'm here.
Let's continue to read. Tifa gasped and put her hands over her mouth. She knew Cloud would do a lot for her, but she couldn't believe he would eat her own droppings. Tifa stood in shock as Cloud continued to lap up her feces. He could hear him swallow it too. And giggle at how much he cared for her. Just relax yourself, said Cloud softly as he swallowed a...
I don't think I'll be able to eat lunch after this.
I don't think I'll be able to eat food ever again after this. Let's continue to read. We'll just skip that last part I was reading. Tifa felt awful that he was going through all this trouble just for her, but she did just that. She didn't even care as she just let even more poop come out and pee leak out of her. Cloud quickly lapped it all up and swallowed. That's good, Tifa. Just let everything out. Cloud said again. Tifa farted and giggled. And soon all the waste was off her. They then filled the tub and took a long romantic bath together. Then they made love. Tifa realized how lucky she was to have a man like Cloud. It was a good day, with a good dump, one that she would look forward to again. That's the end of chapter 3. But we have one more chapter! No! I can't do it! Okay, let's take a look at In the Park. Cloud, Tifa, Eris, Sid, Barrett, Kate Sith, Vincent, Red 13, and Yuffie were out in the park, seated at the picnic table.
Vincent? Like Vincent Valentine? Vincent?
Of the show!
I will kill this fanfic! I will destroy you!
Jesus Christ, I'm trying to film a review here, and it is very hard for you to do so if you keep on interrupting every 5 seconds.
I'm sorry!
Now you stay over here, play your little game, and no more interruptions! Thank you! See what I have to deal with? And you guys think I'm crazy. Now where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? They had just finished lunch and were presently talking about memories past. This better not be a shit orgy. Tifa suddenly stood up and headed for the bathroom. Oh my god. Cloud grinned, knowing what was about to happen. He winked at Tifa and pretended he didn't know. She was his, but still hot. Okay. Everyone would be turned off if they had known about their shit shenanigans. Thank the planet, were so close to the bathroom. She laughed when she got there, so she speaks out loud to herself. Then out of the blue she saw the dreaded sign on the ladies' room door. Out of order. How convenient. Fuck, groaned Tifa. Why are all my bowel movements turning into nightmares? With a sigh, she went around the barn. It was rather secluded with trees and leaves, keeping her well hidden. A good place for a girl to discharge excrement. I'll do this quickly, whispered Tifa as she began to undo her wraparound black skirt. She carefully removed her panties as to not stain them. Tifa stretched her anus wide and felt something slide out from it. Now there was 4 inches sticking out. 4 fat inches of girl poo. No, it's rhino poo. She turned into a rhinoceros at the last second when she went to take a shit. Tifa continued to push, but the turd would no longer budge. Come on, you little bitch, don't tease me, Tifa squealed. Okay, you're trying to be discreet about taking a dump in the woods, yet you're screaming at the top of your lungs. I wonder if someone's going to walk in on you. Tifa, cried a familiar soprano. Tifa turned around in shock. Eris, she cried in a similar tone. What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? She giggled. With that, Eris slipped off her red jacket and began to unbutton her pink dress. She hung it on the branch of a nearby tree as Tifa noticed Eris wasn't wearing a bra nor panties, just her shoes. This is so damn scary, laughed Tifa. She continued to push. Right, giggled Eris as she squatted. The two girls began to shit in unison. Suddenly, a tear rolled down Eris's face. What's wrong? Tifa asked her friend. Oh, this just reminds me of an experience with my first boyfriend, Zach. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. With that, Eris closed her beautiful green eyes and began. Wow, 3 blobs of text have greeted me. Ha ha ha. Zach and I were driving through northern Midgar on the highways. Well, L. Oh, whatever. I always vowed never to shit or even fart in front of a guy. It just wasn't a ladylike thing to do. Until then. And it was in the most embarrassing, unladylike fashion. We originally came from Calm and were on our way to Junon, or whatever. I remember eating a huge breakfast before we left, but I couldn't shit then, so I decided to hold it until we reached Junon. In situations like these, I never succumbed to defeat, so I was pretty confident my butthole would be victorious in the battle against the turds knocking on the door, and I could take care of my business properly like a lady should. Anyways, during the entire trip, I'd feel my stomach turn and the pain increase as time went on. I just told myself, you can make it, Eris girl, and I thought about other things. It wasn't until we were about an hour away from the outskirts of Junon that I thought this could be the one battle I'm defeated in. There must have been tons of waste backed up in my bowels, and it was attacking my asshole with no mercy. I clenched my butt cheeks together with full force and told myself to hold out for an hour until we got to the hotel. Due to my nervousness and the thought of impending doom caused me to sweat all over profusely, and the sweat buildup in my ass crack only seemed to act as a lubricant. Defeat seemed inevitable, and the pain in my intestines was unbearable. And Zach started to notice. He looked over concerned and asked me what was wrong. I was biting my lip, and the look of pain across my face was obvious, and I couldn't answer. He asked again, and slowly I asked if we could pull over to a nearby restroom. The signs showed that the nearest place a restroom would be about 15 minutes. I couldn't wait that long. I was terrified by what might happen. I continued to strain, but that was no good. Then the turd poked its head from out my rectum. I was wearing a navy blue colored short skirt with no underwear, so the turd obviously hit the surface of the seat. I screamed for him to pull over, and confused he did. I had no other choice. I figured shitting on myself in the car would be more humiliating and would ruin my tights. So I quickly jumped out of the car, and thank God I was wearing a skirt so I could pull it up rather quickly, and squatted right in front of my boyfriend, clenched my butt cheeks with my hands, and my asshole had the diameter of a tennis ball, and I unleashed my stinky brown load. It was watery and lumpy and the same time. And the same time, don't you mean at the same time? I could hear the shit hitting the ground as I squatted there off the side of the highway. I was completely disgusting. I was completely disgusting, don't you mean it was completely disgusting? God knows what the people were thinking who were driving by when they saw some woman shitting her guts out on the side of the highway. And it horrified me to know that what my boyfriend was thinking. Shit must have poured out of my ass for a good 2 minutes. My ego and pride were shattered, and with my head down I asked my boyfriend for something to wipe my ass with. He got out of the car with a look of disbelief on his face and opened the trunk and grabbed some rags for me. Completely defeated, humiliated, and embarrassed, I wiped my asshole thoroughly and wiped the tiny shit stain on the inside of my tights and pulled them back up. I looked at my load on the ground and was startled at how huge of a dump I took. We both got in the car, and I was too embarrassed to say anything or give an explanation. He just looked as shocked and disgusted as I was. It was the most embarrassing moment of my life. What happened after that? Asked Tifa with a tear rolling down her cheek. She realized she was really touched by this story. Wow. I pooped on my skirt so it was ruined. When I lamented this, he was like, "Don't worry, it's just a skirt," and he ripped it off with a big smile, leaving me in a shirt but with no pants, like how you are now. Well, we eventually got to Jeonnam and we went to the restaurant as usual. The waiter was so polite, even though I'm sure he knew I was bottomless. Zach and I sat down in the booth and had a wonderful talk. By this time, the final inches of feces had slid out of Eris's anus. She plucked a leaf from a nearby tree and wiped her butt. Tifa, who still had 5 inches of poo hanging from her anus, sighed in disappointment. She would soon be alone again, but her spirits were lifted when Eris did something very unexpected. Before dressing, she hugged her friend and pecked her on the cheek. Tifa was a closet bisexual, and Cloud knew, but she never had been kissed by a girl before. She realized this was the beginning of something more. Well, what a delightful story that was. Let's talk about the issues. First of all, the spelling and grammar was really bad considering this was a story that was written by an adult, not a teenager, an adult, seeing it's on adultfanfiction.net. Another problem with this story, it was all over the place. This should have just been a one-shot. The story is titled Cloud Mows the Lawn, and yet there's 4 chapters of different situations that Tifa and Cloud get themselves into. You know, this story shouldn't have been called Cloud Mows the Lawn at all. No, it should have been called Tifa's Shit Finish. That's what it should have been called, because that would have made more sense. Thirdly, that was the most disgusting thing I have ever read. Not only was it disgusting, it was pointless. You know, this had the potential of being a cute little story if it wasn't for the whole shit finish thing. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And it was over the top. It was repetitive. It was ridiculous. This story was awful. It was awful. 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 And it's a story that I cannot erase from my mind because of how bad it was. Oh my God.
Alright, I think I'm gonna have to do this one. Alright, everybody. She's the fanfic critic. She reads it. You listen. And I'm gonna go vomit.
What on earth is... Bloody hell. Hey, you okay? Who's out in the bathroom? She didn't try to kill herself, did she?
No.
Okay, good.
Fanfic bad.
Fanfic? Oh boy, what's this one called?
No, Susan, spare yourself.
Oh, trust me, I can handle it.
Oh no. No.
Cloud Mows the Lawn.
Nice knowing you.
Okay, I'm not going to read anymore. Yes, why are you here?
Because I've mastered teleportation through the art of gaming cheats.
Well, do you mind helping me move her so we can get her off to the hospital? I'm not sure. Did she just faint or what?
She just fell out of her chair. Plop.
She didn't try to kill herself or anything?
Nope, no killing, no face pistol, no razor, just plop.
Okay, help me with her.
Okie dokie then.
Well, God, this is becoming rather redundant.
I'll say.
You want to know how many times I do this? It's like 3 times a week. I have to drag her out of her room to bring her to the hospital and then just have the hospital say, "Oh, she's fine."
Doesn't surprise me.
Although she really was fine. You think her mental health will be getting better, not worse. Oh wait, we should probably turn the camera off so it doesn't waste any battery now. How does this thing work?